Hi everybody, welcome to our group Clean Desk Mission. So my name is Kimberly Burkhart. I am a Norwex independent sales consultant, but my first and most loved job is that I'm a third grade teacher at Milford Central School. Last year, my coworker and I purchased our own mini travel Envirocloths. We got a class set, one for each student, because we were very concerned with what we had learned about chemicals and our students being exposed to them on a daily, minute-by-minute basis. So let's talk about that for a second. So we have to use chemicals in schools. There's no way around it. We need to kill bacteria with coronavirus. There's no way around not using chemicals in the classroom. So what can we do to lighten that burden that our students are going to be experiencing? So let's talk about, what do you mean burden? Well, first of all, some classrooms have foggers that are spraying chemicals in the air. Eventually all those chemicals will fall down and land on things. Hopefully by the morning there won't be any chemicals in the air, but it's always great for teachers to open up their windows and get the fans going and try to air out their room, keep their door open, whatever they can do. That we don't really have a lot of control of. What we do have a little bit of control over is the surfaces. So I teach elementary, but I think this applies from elementary all the way up to high school, even college. Think about the surface that you're working on. Even as adults, you're touching it nonstop. All of your things are touching it. Your pens are touching it. Your snacks, food, water bottle, and you're touching all those things with your hands nonstop, including the surface of your desk. And I don't know about you, but I'm just as bad as the little kids about putting my hands on my face, touching my mouth, eating a snack. I graze all day. We're getting the things from the surfaces into our mouths, into our eyes. We're touching our skin with them. I know, especially in my classroom, my students eat breakfast and sometimes lunch in here. They also have snack in here, so their desk is also their table for eating. So what we were concerned about was the chemical residue left over on the desks. So chemicals kill bacteria and illnesses, germs, all those things. That's great. But what you have remaining on the surface, and I can show that to you, I'll be proving to you that in this group, is the chemical residue left over from the chemicals that were used. No matter how safe they are, they're still designed to kill. It's still bad residue to have on a surface, no matter how safe it is or how mild it is. You also have that dead bacteria that was killed that's still on the surface. So what we do in the mornings is our kids each have their own mini travel Envirocloth that's hanging on a hook on their desk. They go get it wet. One teacher has a sink, so they just wet it in the sink. I don't have a sink, so I just have a bowl of water that I fill up in the morning. Sometimes the kids even go fill it up, and the kids all go dip their cloths in the water, and they go wipe off the surface of their desk. If they want to do other things, they can, but most importantly, I ask them to do their desks. Why? They're mechanically removing the chemical residue and the dead bacteria from that surface. Okay, so you got to think, there was the chemical residue on the desk, there is the dead bacteria on the desk, and there could be other things that are still on the surface that didn't really get cleaned. We found that too. Our custodians are working very hard, but they have a lot of building to cover and a lot of desks and a lot of spaces in a very short amount of time. So we just help them out and make sure that everything is safe for our kiddos. So what they do is they wipe off the desk. They're mechanically removing all that stuff off. Our microfiber is so fine. It is 1/200th of a human hair. Most microfiber that you find at the store is only 1/6 of a human hair. That's what's required by law to be called microfiber. But ours is 1/200th. So if you think about that, it's getting underneath. Think of like a razor blade or your fingernail that you use to scrape something off. You're looking for something very thin to get underneath and pick it up. Well, 1/200th of a human hair, that's pretty fine. That's going to get underneath everything. And our claws remove 99% of bacteria, which is phenomenal. So there is a video that I want you to watch on here where I cleaned desks that had already been sanitized. Look at what comes off. You can't really see it so much after the first desk, but after I go through a few desks and a table, you're going to see my handprint on there, and you're going to see the white residue from the cleaning solutions that were used. Okay, so here's our goal. I would love to put these in every single classroom all over the country, but it is asking teachers to do another step. So first of all, we need to educate teachers so that they understand what is on the desks, and that there is a pretty simple solution to washing those off. And it's really cool because the kids can use the cloths all day, and it's removing their own bacteria and germs and keeping their desk clean all day. My kids love them. They use them all the time. They'll even use them on their pencils. They go rinse them out when they need to. But you do have cloths that need to be taken care of and need to be hung up properly and need to dry. So our cloths have a special weave. They're very dense, and it holds on to all that stuff that it picked up off the desk. It's not going to put it back down on another surface. But to get rid of that, what you need to do every night or every afternoon when the kids are ready to go home, I have my kids rinse out their cloths very well. Scrub them really good, rinse them really good, wring them out, and release all that junk that they picked up off their desks. Then they need to be wrung out very well and hung to dry overnight so that the silver that is infused in them, so okay, I told you they're very fine, they're very dense, and they also have backlock, which means they have silver infused into them. Silver is a natural antibacterial agent. It's going to take care of any bacteria that's still on there that would grow on there, so you don't have a stinky, nasty cloth in the morning. That cloth is going to self-purify and be ready to go when the kids come back in the next morning, so that's really cool. But it is a step. You have to have water, you have to have a bowl of water. It really doesn't take that much time out of my day. It's worth it to me to keep the chemicals away from the kids. So first of all, we want teachers to understand why this is so important and why take those extra steps each day. Another thing that needs to be done is the cloths need to be washed like once a week. They can be washed at school or they can be taken home to be washed. So we don't just want to give teachers cloths and say, here you go, use these. So here's how we're going to do this. We want to, number one, educate everybody and educate teachers. So invite people to this group. Invite people that you think would want to help out with this. Invite teachers that you think would be like, oh yes, please sponsor my classroom. So what we're going to do is we're going to just we're just going to raise money to buy kids cloths. Okay, so every $10 you donate buys 2 cloths. And what we'll do is we'll stockpile all those cloths, and I'll tell you what we're going to do with these cloths here in a second. We are going, if you want to do an entire class and get 20 cloths, a $75 donation takes care of an entire class. I am not going to make a nickel off of this fundraiser. All the hostess rewards, any commission, anything, well, first of all, I'm doing a discount, so there's not much commission there, but any commission will take care of shipping cloths to teachers and buying extra cloths. So that I'm not going to make any money off of this because I want teachers and students anywhere and everywhere to have the same experience that my classroom has. So there will be you can pay through Venmo or PayPal, but then what I want you to do is we need teachers in here. So invite a teacher that you think would want to learn along with us, invite them to the group so they can see what we're doing and get on board. And then if the teacher is like, yes, I am willing to do this, I will take a few extra minutes at the beginning of my day and the end of the day to get this done so that this can be something that we can do in our classroom. Invite that teacher because I'm going to have a special post where teachers can apply on a Google form. So what they're going to do is they're going to fill out their information. They're going to say, yes, I want these. I understand how this works. And I want these in my classroom. And yes, please help us. And then we're going to see how many teachers we have that have applied. We're going to see how many cloths we've gotten. We're going to see if we need more cloths or if we need more teachers. And we are going to send these cloths to as many teachers as we possibly can to get these in as many classrooms as we possibly can. If there's a business that would like to sponsor this and do a larger donation, absolutely have them reach out to me because we could make this huge, guys. All right, so this is just the gist of it. This is what we're doing. This is why you're here. So invite people that you think would contribute to this and invite teachers who you think could benefit from this so we can all learn together. All right, there'll be more posts coming. Stay tuned.